Good morning. It's day one of Plant 2025. Let's go. Brought my pickup over to the field here. Dad's picking me up, going to take me back. This is our field that we're going to get done here this morning. Planting beans with the corn planter, 30-inch rows. We're going to do this field, do my soybean plot, and then switch the planter back over to corn and see how much we can get done today. Okay, we're heading to the field. We've got our 1775 NT 24-row 30-inch corn planter that we are planting beans with. We're running this super nice John Deere 8RX 370. It's an awesome tractor. We'll get some good pictures here later. No tank today because we're planting beans and we're not putting heavy starter fertilizer rates on, so we don't need that liquid carrying capacity. And we're gonna go get started here. Field's just around the corner. It's not too far away. It's gonna be a little bit slow going, getting the initial checks, depth, and everything else set. Make sure that we're doing a good job. Once we get rolling, we'll fly through this. So there was one last setup thing that I wanted to do to this before we actually start planting, and that is to calibrate my TCMs. So these GPS receivers, we have one up here on the tractor on the outside or built into the roof, and we have one on the planter. They have a TCM, or a terrain compensation module, built into them that essentially it senses the roll, the pitch, and the yaw of the GPS receiver, or the tractor, or the implement, or whatever. And you have to calibrate those every time you move them from one implement to another, and since we just put this one on the planter, it needs calibrated. And we're doing an advanced calibration, so it's auto tracking on a line, recording this. We're going to drive so far. Oh, now we're ready, I think. Yeah, so now we got to turn around, get right back on this line, and then track it on the way back, and it records the differences in each direction, and on each kind of point along that path, and calibrates our receivers. I didn't really have a good spot to do this in the driveway yesterday because I wanted to do it with the planter unfolded so that it's like it will be in the field and all of that stuff. But you can see it's adding up its percentages. Don't go over 4 miles an hour, so we'll just kind of track back along here, right back in the same path that we just took. And then we should be ready to go, I think. I don't know. We'll find out, won't we? Okay, so I set the planter down to turn the CCS fan on. That way we get some beans in every row unit in the mini hoppers. And then we got to prime our meters. We got to get our vacuum set. All right, we're getting somewhere. Got out to prime my in-furrow system. We're flushing the lines out, trying to get fertilizer through them. They're all working. That's beautiful. Through our new seed firmers. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Excellent. Love it. All right. Well, let's do a little digging. I made one pass along the edge here. Oh, there was a bean. There's a bean. I feel like my depth is reasonable. Shooting for 1 3/4 inches. I don't want to be any shallower than 1.5 inches. I don't want to be any deeper than 2. We're pretty close there. So we're going to dig a bunch behind this. I do want my row cleaners down another notch deeper. We're not getting all the residue out of the rows, and most of them aren't turning half the time. And with the corn stalks here, heavier residue situation, I want more action from my row cleaners. All right, I pinned all of the row cleaners down one more notch. Before I do a bunch of digging here, we're going to make another pass on these ends, then get out and dig, because I know we're close on depth, and you only change one variable at a time, so we'll worry about that after the next one here. Okay. Now my row cleaners are turning more now. That's better. I like that better. We'll crank the speed up here once we get comfortable and get everything set right. Well, let's take a look. Let's see, we had row 1 out here. At some point, real quick here, maybe now, we're going to dig all 24 rows. Make sure our depth is good, make sure we've got seed. Monitors are great. They're usually pretty accurate. But you still got to ground truth it. There's a bean. 1 3/4 inches. There's another bean. 24 or 30-inch rows, the beans are mighty close together. So, there's one. All right, that one's plenty deep. It's right at 2. We could shallow it up a notch. We'll see what the rest of them look like. I'm going to dig for a minute here, and I'll let you know what I find. Lots of nice loose dirt. There was a bean, there was a bean. There's a bean. That one looks pretty good. I'd rather be a touch deep than a touch shallow, but that's just me. Every row has seed. They're all what I would call on the good to touch deep side, which we're going to leave alone for right now, except for row 5. For some reason, I found a bunch of shallow seeds in row 5, so I just want to look at it real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Closing in. Our depth is set right. It's adjusted right. Everything looks okay. It's possible we just hit a hard spot there or something and it bounced a little bit, or maybe there's a rock under the ground that the opener's bounced up over. We're going to plant some more. We'll check row 5 again in a little bit. Just make sure, but I think we're in good shape here. Cranking up the speed here a little bit. Now we are running auto path boundaries here. I created, this is one of the fields that I mapped, did a new boundary line for, and we created a boundary path, auto path file for it. So it's following the boundary that I made along the edge of these trees, which means I know that it's good. Although it's plenty close. It's plenty close. It's okay, oh, there's a wet spot there. Oh, there we go. Mud up the row unit straight from the get-go. Yeah, that's how it works. But anyway, so it's going to follow this. The second path is also going to curve around this. The third path will be a straight line, is best fit to this side of the field. So ideally, I don't have to create any guidance lines or do anything, and it just is all done for me already, which will be pretty sweet. So we're going to get some end rows done here, get a few things figured out, and then we'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. We'll talk about a few of the things that we were doing here. You guys remember on Friday when we were doing the tillage out here? This spot had water in it. Dad fit through it yesterday. And we're going to plant through it today. We're going to lift up the planter just a little bit so it's not actively pushing it down into the mud. We'll pick up a little bit. It's fine. It's all fine. That's how fast we're drying out. Well, it isn't going to take long to cover some acres with this. So we're up to speed. Everything's working good. I'm watching my monitors. They look fantastic. Let me show you what we got going on over here. So this is the planter monitor. Here's our population, 120, and we're shooting for 120,000. Singulation at 99, which on soybeans I feel is really good. Gauge wheels, it says 100%. I mean, we're right on where we want to be. We've already covered almost 11.5 acres. This is the chart of the population. You can see which rows. There are a few rows that are a little bit low. I could probably up my vacuum a pound or an inch or so or whatever, but that's not bad. There's the singulation map or graph. Yeah, we're getting a few skips, so we'll tweak that, up the vacuum just a little bit, but looks really good. Looks really good. Our liquid's going on. We're putting 4 gallons to the acre on of our starter. That's first pass. That's all sitting there, dialed right in. Looks fantastic. I'm pretty happy with the way everything's running here for day one, right out of the gate. I do want to stop in the end here. We're going to get out and check row 5 again, just make sure that that one is planting at depth the way that it's supposed to be. And then we're going to jump around this field a little bit with the box of beans that we've got in here, so I'll explain when we get back in the tractor. This one right here is row 5. Let's just make sure we're getting them into the proper depth. Now they're deep. Yeah, I figured we were just riding up there. That's every bit of 2 inches. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. So here's the thing, right? So typically, if you ask somebody from a university or somebody that knows something about planting beans, they're going to tell you you should plant your beans but 1 to 1.5 inches deep. Yeah, okay. Some people will even tell you shallower than that. I disagree. I think 1.5 is an absolute minimum. I'm okay with 2 inches. I'm okay with a little deeper than that, especially early. But there's a reason. So when we're planting soybeans early, which we are still planting beans early here, like this is, it's not ultra early March planted beans, right? We're not doing that anymore. But today is the 22nd of April. It's still considered early for planting for our area, especially for beans, but even with corn, like this is early to normal for when we would get started planting on a regular normal year. We're not behind by any means. And as such, we still get some cold nights. There's a pretty good chance we'll still get some frost. There's none in the forecast, but there's always a possibility. And so I don't want to have those beans come up super fast and be planted super shallow where you're going to get radical changes in temperature morning to afternoon or overnight. And so I like to plant a little bit deeper because it helps to buffer that temperature change. It keeps them from going to the extremes up and down. The deeper you go in the soil, the more consistent the ground temperature is. And that's why, especially early, we plant them a little bit deeper. Now I do intend to put wheat in this field this fall. And as such, we are planting an early variety. This is a 2.3 maturity bean. And I had planned to put a 2.2 here, and then I screwed up on the treatment side of stuff for my trial. And so I said, well, we're going to use the 2.3 instead, which I'm pretty excited about this bean. It seems like it's going to be better than the 2.2 that has been awesome for us. So we're going to find out. It has excellent white mold resistance and just disease tolerance, and was yielding really, really well in the plots last year. Okay, so one of the things that we are doing out here, because this is a known white mold issue field, we have significant white mold pressure out here over the last 2 or 3 times we've had beans out here, specifically in that corner and up there on that side of the of the field. But we're doing a seed treatment trial out here with the Heads Up. So Heads Up is a seed treatment that I add when I am treating the beans, and it is designed to help protect the plant from several different things, one of which is white mold. That's why I use it, because I have very little other things that I can do to control it. And they came to me and said, hey, would you do a strip trial for us this year? Work with us and get some good data. And while I've used Heads Up for a few years in the past, I've never taken the time to really do a excellent trial and test it. And so that's what we are doing here. So that's why we only put 1 box of beans in the planter, because this box of beans does not have Heads Up on it. The other box that I have for this field of the same variety does have the Heads Up on it. And so what we're going to do here is jump around. We're going to plant some blocks or some strips of the untreated. They're not untreated, they're treated beans. They just don't have the Heads Up. The non-applied strips here. And then we'll when we're empty, we'll go back and we'll reload and we'll plant in all of the blocks with the Heads Up, and then we'll be able to watch it throughout the season and see if we saw any difference or not. So, but I want to make sure I get some to the other side of the field of these non-untreated, non-applied, because that's where the heavier white mold pressure is. And if the treatment works, I want there to be a visual difference, and so putting them in the white mold areas is what we need to do. Always amazes me how much power it takes to pull this planter. I mean, it is a big planter, but it's not a huge planter. I mean, it's like a perspective, right? This is a fairly large tractor, 370 horsepower tractor, and I'm not pulling my tank. That's what I usually attribute the fact that I can't pull this 10 miles an hour to, is the fact that I got that big fertilizer tank I pull behind here normally. You'll see it this afternoon. But I'm not doing that, and I've got it set to go 10. We're doing 8.6, 8.4. It's fine, I'm not complaining. Like, that's fast. For planting, that's fast. But I don't have enough power to pull this planter as fast as I could, so... Anyway, we keep jumping around. Let's see, where's the map? Where's the map? Right there. So we've got a block over here. We got a little block right here. We're gonna plant another one with what we've got, do these end rows down here, and we're gonna leave a big block in the center, so... yeah. So the colors there, let's talk about that while we're here. That's my population script. So the red areas is the lowest population, the yellow is the middle, and then the green is the high. And it's the exact opposite of corn. We cut the population back in the best areas of the field. We push it higher in the tougher areas of the field. But in general this year, we have cut our soybean populations. I have cut them back about 20,000 plants per acre on average, as another measure to help prevent some of this white mold pressure that we have had in the past. Well, I just got a seed bin low message, so if we get to the end here, hopefully we get to the end, we're going to have to get out and check that. I thought we'd get a little more planted than what we are, where we're at, so I wonder if they're uneven and we got to even the tanks out a little bit. That's possible. Actually, I take that back. We are a little over 40 acres, so we're about right to what we should have had for seeds, so yeah, that actually worked out pretty good. Let's go out and check it up here, and we'll see where we're at. I think we're out. There's a little bit in this one, but not much. I ain't gonna go very far, not even worth evening them up. Okay, we gotta go get a seed tender. Phil's got his planter out, putting plates in, got the seed tender ready to go. He's gonna go plant too, so we're gonna knock out a bunch of beans today. Alright, well, we've got our tender in our full box, and we're loading our tender, or our planter up here. So this is the box with the heads up on it. And we do have a nice auto scale on here, so when I'm splitting boxes like this, I can look at the total weight of the box and divide that by 2, and then just put that much in the hopper. So that's what we're doing here. We need a little over 900 pounds in each one. My talc applicator down there, that big white thing, it's not working. There's an auger in there that's not turning, and so I'm just kind of sprinkling this stuff on as it's going in. It's fine. I'll get that fixed when I get a chance. Not like I haven't had all winter to do it and just didn't. Alright, we're loaded. We should have enough to finish this field, and then we'll see from there. Won't be a lot left over, but there might be a little bit. Cool. So to differentiate between our strip trials here, I wish John Deere had a better way to log seed treatments and to track that stuff. But I just went in and created a new variety. It's well, it's supposed to be the same. It's supposed to be 2315, not 2325. They are the same variety. I just typed it in wrong. We'll fix that later. But then I denoted that it has heads up on it there. So that's what we're doing. Now we finished planting the field. We gotta fill in our blocks back there, but we'll finish this side and then work our way back, and it's all good. Things are rolling. This is awesome. I love this. It's gonna be a good spring, boys. Let's go. Let's go. All right, we got just one last round here on this side of the field. Then we've just got our blocks to fill in over there. Looks like that. So there's not much there. I've got a guy coming to pick up some beans in about 20 minutes. Think I can get this done before that? I'm not sure. It's gonna be close. We'll see what I can do. But yeah, planter's working all, I mean, that is dead on. You don't get any better than that, really, for beans. That's 98.7, 98.6. This is soybeans. Like, that is really good. I am thrilled with how good a job our planter is doing. And, yeah, this is great. Look at all the dust we got flying. What a deal. We need some pictures of the planter in the middle of the field so that I can tell everybody in the whole world on, you know, Facebook and everything else that, hey, we're planting. look at me, look at me. No, something like that. It's always good to get them the first day when the planter's clean. Plus, this is the only time I will not be pulling a tank, so that's what we're doing. And I can get out and check again, do a little more digging. Oh, it's so pretty. There, there. Right there. Right there. I'm pretty happy with those. I think the planter's doing a great job. It looks great. I'm really happy with everything here. So it's the first time I've really had a chance to look at my. Yeah. You can see my seed firmers here. We are getting a little bit of buildup on my closing wheels. I don't like that. That was supposed to solve that issue. They look okay. We might tighten them screws down on those firmers a little bit, put a little more pressure on them. I don't know. I think we're okay. We'll see how they do in corn. They're more there for corn than they are for beans. Oh, I'm so close. One round left to do. I just got a low seed bin warning. I think they're a little uneven. I gotta bucket some beans from one side to the other, and we should be able to make this round. Worked out pretty good though, didn't it? I think we're gonna make it. I got another low seed warning, but we just gotta get to the end of the field. As always, we end up in the back of the field, but it's okay because we're going over there. We're going by the plot next, and we can just jump across the field here. We don't even have to fold up. So, plus that guy's here to pick up some beans. We gotta go up there and treat a couple boxes. All right, well, I feel good. We've got a little over 80 acres of beans in the ground, well, plus Phil's planting, so he's gonna keep going on the beans. I'm gonna do this bean plot here this afternoon. It's gonna be a couple hours before Tony can get here, so we've got some time to get some stuff set up. We gotta do end rows and stuff out here, or at least we should. I don't have enough beans in the planter, that's the problem. Anyway, we got time to treat a couple boxes, get this guy here what he needs, and then keep going on stuff. Okay, well, we got him all loaded up and situated and everything he needs. Got a couple boxes treated for him. He took me over to get my seed tender, so we're going to run this back to the farm here. I'm waiting on sales rep Tony to come and help me do this plot. We've got a little bit of seed in the planter, but I don't know if there's enough to plant the end rows that I need to plant. Might see if there's enough just to plant the back ends. That would be helpful. But yeah, we'll get ready to do the plot. So to do this corn or the soybean plot, the hoppers, the little mini hoppers on the corn planter are not very big. They don't hold very many beans, and you can't plant very far before you run out. Especially at the high populations. Corn's never a problem, but beans, it can be a problem. We have a solution for this, but it involves me running to the gas station. So I'm gonna go do that, and I can grab some lunch while we're at it. I'll show you when we get back, but yeah. Phil's out here planting this. The field Dad was disking last night. He's made one pass. It's all right, making progress. All right, I just got back and I was looking in my seed tanks. I think we've got enough to at least plant the end rows on that side. Now, this end we don't put end rows in. I just plant right up to the grass, which is a little bit of a challenge, but we do the best we can. On the other end, though, I need end rows along the trees there. And so we're going to go down and plant those, see how far this goes. Fairly even. There's a touch more in this one than this one, but I'm not going to worry about it right now, I don't think. And then we can plant up that side if we need to, just to make them all even. But yeah, then we can come back. We've got to open up all the row units, pull the little elbows out, and get it ready to do the plot stuff. Okay, well, I figured out my autopath boundary stuff a little bit better on this field. On that first field, it worked on the first one, but it was off a little. We got a little close there, and it was because I didn't have the right boundary selected. So figured out you got to go in and select that, which I did for this one. So we should be right on our boundary edge here. All looks good. Yeah, we're going to put our one round in on the back here, and then we'll plant up that side. basically until we run out of seed. There goes Dad. That means he's got the next field of corn stalks disced up, ready for fill. That's good. Look, it's Jack. You're just in time, Jack.
You're only a month late.
I know. A month late, he says. All right, we got planted what we needed to, so now we've got to get plots set up for the plots. So all of these lids have to come off. We'll put them in something, and all these elbows have to come out. And then we got to get the beans out of there, and we got to unplug our CCS blower so that we don't get more beans blowing out there. All right, so we are a 60-foot wide planter. I want 20-foot strips because that's half of a header width. That's the easiest for me to do. That means 8 rows for each bean. So the first 2 passes, or 2 20-foot strips, 40 feet, we're going to do a buffer. That's just going to be the same beans we've got everywhere else. That gives me a full combine pass down to get the field opened up, so I don't have to worry about trying to take a 20-foot pass and all that good stuff. So these first 8 rows here are going to be our first entry, which means we got to get all the beans out of the row units. So I'm working on that right now. Now, when we planted this bean plot 2 years ago, it was the first year we had this ExactEmerge planter, and we very, very quickly realized that these mini hoppers don't hold enough seed to get from this end of the field to the other in beans. It does in corn, but not in beans. And there is a company that you can find advertised on Facebook or wherever else that sells little extensions. They 3D print, make a little mini hopper extension thing on here. They've got a screen to block off this and all kinds of stuff, right? They're expensive. I don't remember exactly how much, but it's more than $50 a row. I have a solution for this. Go to your local gas station and ask them how much to buy some empty cups. We got 44-ounce Polar Pops here from our local Circle K dealer. You cut the bottom of them out and you stuff them in there. They charged me 10 cents a cup, and then I bought 24 and they gave me 30. So they were less than that. So that's what we're doing, and then we'll be able to put our beans in there. It will hold enough to get from one end to the other and work just fine. So yeah, and we found a few closing wheels that were a little loose, so Jack's helping me tighten those up while I get these beans out of these rows. And when Tony gets here, we're going to use the shop vacs to get this out. But for right now, I'm just pulling plates out. So we put our little cup on there, unlatch this, and then pull this and spill beans everywhere. And that one wasn't horrible. Shake it, get all the beans out of the hose. All these. There goes a helicopter. Life flight, somebody's having a bad day. Anyway, that's what we do. And then we take this and go pour it in one of our rows that we've got a cup in already. Because this is the variety that we're using for a buffer, so that's why I only have to empty the first 8 rows and we just pour these in the other ones. Getting close here. So I got all the beans out of rows 1 through 8. We dumped them into the next 8 rows or whatever it is. But I need some more beans on the far end down there, and I've got to get them out of the CCS tank. If you unplug this wire harness right here, it keeps your CCS blower from turning on, which is good because we don't want to blow beans from the CCS tanks into the rows that we were trying to plant plots in. But I don't really have any beans in there anyway, so it's not that big a deal. There's just a few on this side that I'm going to try and get out to top off those other rows. It's sort of a pain to get this stuff out of there, though, when the planter is unfolded. It's much easier with it all folded up. Well, I've got 3 rows that I need to top off yet. My seed tanks are empty, so I think we're going to have plenty of plot seed. We might just rob some out of the plot bag of that variety. Ready to go. Let's fire up, make sure we get everything primed and start. We've got 13 varieties. We can do 3 at a time, except for the first one we're only doing 1, which works out well. That means we've got 2 rounds after this first one, and then we'll see what we're going to do outside of that. But yeah, this will be good. Finally, we are planting. Plots take time, that's just the way it is. Good to do early like this. It's fine. I would like to be knocking out acres, but also it's April 22nd. We've got time. It's okay. And I like having plots done. So we're gonna do this one. I don't know that we're actually gonna make it to the field to do corn today. We're gonna try really hard, but this is going to take some time. All right, so we made our first pass. Now comes the long, tedious process of cleaning everything out. So we got shop vacs here, got a little piece of rubber hose attached to it, and we just stick it down in the meter. We had plenty of beans, so that's good. But we got to get all this variety out and then put our new varieties in. Hopefully we don't destroy these cups doing this, but I got a few extra if we do. Yeah, we got dust now. Planting the dust and your grain bins will bust. Did you guys know that? It's a good deal. Pass is number 2, entries 2, 3, and 4. I used to be able to turn the 16 row in the grass over there. Can't do that with the 24 row, so we gotta make this backing around turn. It's fine, but it's not ideal. It is just once though, because the next one, when I come back, I can just turn through the grass. All right, let's do it again. Finishing the last pass of the variety trial. We're gonna clean it out one more time. I'm gonna put in enough seed to finish this field. I gotta figure out what we're gonna use. And then we might do like a population strip trial, and I can turn my starter on and off for a strip, and we'll see from there. But I gotta go find some beans. My tanks were empty when we started here, so I don't have enough in there to finish it. It says we have done 8.4 acres of the, I think, 15 in this field, so I need enough for like 7. The other thing I could do is just throw the open plot bags in and call that good enough, but I can't do any more, you know, agronomic trial stuff if I do that. These guys are getting the pad ready to pour and doing a heck of a job, it looks like. They're gonna pour on Friday, I think they said. So I got a half empty or a mostly empty box of beans in the back of the truck. We're gonna take them down, figure out how to scoop them into the planter. Phil had a few beans left over from the first field that he planted. There was 35 acres there, and so he had about 5 units left over, which is just about what I need here. So we put them in this planter, and I'm planning some more agronomic trial stuff here. So this strip here, we're doing half with our starter, half without our starter. Same seed, same population, everything all the way across. When we pick up, we're gonna turn around and go back to the next pass in that I skipped here. Notice how I skipped a pass. And we're gonna do seeding rate trial. We're gonna do an 80, a 120, and 160,000 seeding rate trial. And that'll be it. And then we'll just finish planting the field out and time to convert it over to corn. This is cool. So we can assign different varieties to different parts of the planter and then assign seeding rates to them. So we've got a 160, 120, and an 80K, 8 rows of each. That is pretty awesome. But we've got to get it set there. We're not quite there yet. Here we go. Here we go. Look at that. That's awesome. All right, so we want this one to be, oops, 160. We want this to be 120. And we want this one to be 80. How cool is that? Okay. We should be good. Planter in the ground for the last pass. Let's go. Now, where can we see that population? There's the different rates. There's what each one of them is doing. So we're in 157, 120, and 79.6, 79.7. That's so cool. So think about how many seeds are coming out of there. 160,000 seeds per acre in 30-inch rows at 9.5 miles an hour. Those beans are flying out of that row. Somewhere there's probably something that would tell me how many seeds per second that is, or I can do some math, but either way it's a lot. It's a good day. It's a good day. All right, we are done planting beans with the 30-inch rows. Probably won't do any more for the rest of the year unless I get all the corn planted in the next 5 days and then we still have beans to plant for some reason. And I say, well, I'll just finish with the bean planter or the corn planter or help out. So I don't see that happening. So we gotta get our bowls out, get everything switched over to corn. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but we'll get there. And got a gentleman coming right now with a wagon looking for a box of beans. He's actually got 2 boxes. I wonder if he knows that with 2 different varieties, but whatever, it's fine. And he gets some corn, so we're gonna get this corn found right now so that we can throw that in the truck, and then we'll go work on our corn planter. It is, what time is it? 4:53, so there's a chance we don't make it to the field tonight, but we're gonna try. While we're at it, did you guys see this sweet Best RX? Doesn't come from a doctor shirt with a nice RX picture on there. You can find one if you go to farmfocus.com/BorderviewFarms, or just go to BorderviewFarms.com, click on the shop link. It'll get you there, and you know, support my channel. I appreciate it. Also, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. I'm hoping to grow this quite a bit here over the spring. We're back in the fields. Things are exciting again, and let's grow this channel. So let's hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I would appreciate that. Give my videos a thumbs up. Guys, leave a comment for me and help me grow this and find some new subscribers and new followers and stuff. Let me know if you're enjoying the content. If you're not, that's fine too, and hope you stick around. It's going to be good for a while here. All right, guy came and got that box. Plates, empty the seed tanks, bowls, not plates, sorry. Put corn in, put starter in. We gotta get our tank out, and it's gonna be close here, guys. I don't know if we're gonna make it or not, but we're gonna try. There may be a tiny bit of beans still in those tanks there. We'll empty them out, but that's all I got out of the meters. Wasn't much left. Okay. We've got our planter basically ready to go. I didn't dump the CCS tanks yet because you can't really do it with them folded up, or with the planter unfolded. You got to fold it up. But I've turned the fan on and let it blow all the lines out, blow everything out of the tanks that it could. There can't be hardly anything in them. There wasn't hardly anything in them when I did that. Got the plates in, got the double eliminators adjusted. We got the new the agitation strips with the dimples on it put back in, so we're good there. We have got to get out a tote of our humic acid and zinc product from the Andersons, and I need that tank. We got to get that thing out. We should check the tires on it, make sure that it's in good shape before we just take it to the field, hook it up and fill it up, but yeah, all should be okay. Dad got done disking another field, and he's switching to the field cultivator now. Trying to keep 2 pieces of tillage equipment moving to stay ahead of 2 planters with 1 guy. It's a little taxing, tough, but he's doing a great job. Brock will be back tomorrow, so we can keep them both moving. He's got another 55, 58 acres or something fit up ahead of Phil, so Phil will have something to plant tomorrow. He'll be doing good to get done with the 90 he's doing tonight, or 86, so that's good. He's going to get some more ready for planting corn right across the road here. I just checked all these tires. They were all within a half a pound. That's never happened before. It's awesome. So all looks good there. I think we'll just hook her up and go. We greased it before we put it away. Probably need to check our motor. We can check the oil here, but this is a very, very seldom used motor, so I'm not worried about changing it. Yeah, it's got plenty of oil in it. So, might need some gas. Need run, but it is good. All right, we need to get seed tender around and seed and put some corn in the planter and figure out what we're putting on there, or putting in there. You what?
I missed you.
You missed me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Where are you going?
I'm running to my grandma.
Running to your grandma?
Yeah.
Okay. She's been helping me. She was handing me plates when we were putting them in the planter. So we have 2 fields that we could plant tonight if we get there and have time. They're both back here. We've kind of got a little middle field that's like 22 acres, and then the back field that's about 75, 72, something like that. Anyway, they both get the same variety, thank goodness. That is 08UOO, which is a new one for this year that did awesome last year in the plots and a little bit that we did see it. So I'm pretty excited for that. Usually I would prefer to plant some fuller season stuff first, but it is what it is. So we're gonna get this put in the planter. I need 39 units, I think, to do the 2 fields, so not quite a full box. We'll see how it goes there. Corn! We got corn going in the planter. Same thing with my talc applicator, still not working. I just drizzle a little of this stuff in as we go. I was getting plenty because there was residue in the tanks after they were empty. And we haven't had any seed flow issues, so it's working. The beautiful thing about scales on seed tenders, especially ones that work, and auto scales, is that I only have to put in exactly what I need. So I put in 39 units. Set the scale for half of what I need on each side. It shuts off automatically. You close the slide gate on the box with about 150-ish pounds left to go on the last hopper, and it usually comes out really close. So that is good. So that box is not empty. It's close to empty, but it is not empty. Seed is in the planter. Now we need some fertilizer. So we're going to try and get our tank hooked up here. It's easier to use the forklift to bring the tank to the planter than to try and back the planter to the tank. Got it. Got our wire harness and our hose hooked up there. I think everything is good except for the keeper thing on the pin that's bent. Whatever, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's put some fertilizer in it. So we are filling up our starter tank here. So we put our 2x2x2 starter in this tank and occasionally a little bit in the 300-gallon tank on the front of the planter. I put my pop-up starter in the 600-gallon tank, the same one we just used for beans, which, by the way, we do have a little bit of that left. There's a little over 100 gallons, but it's a 50-50 dilution with water. Almost 150. Anyway, I don't have anywhere else to use it for beans. I don't have any way to apply it to beans. It's not worth trying to drain out of there. So we're gonna add what we need for the corn that we're gonna plant today, and we're just gonna up the rate by 1 gallon per acre and put 1 gallon of that on with the other stuff and call it good enough. But in this tank we're mixing 28, which is why we had to get some more brought in, because Dad used most of it up on the wheat that we had, so we got in another 50 ton. That's plenty for the corn. So we're putting that in first, and then we're putting ATS in first, I think. Ammonium thiosulfate. Then we're going to put in the 28. Then we're going to put in a little bit of 1034O, and we're going to put in our humic acid with zinc in it. That's in my 2x2x2. And then we'll fill the 600-gallon tank on the planter with our season pass, all that good stuff from the Andersons that we've got in the other tank there. So I need 463 gallons of ATS and 28. Those are a 50-50 mix. We're going to have to figure something faster out for this zinc. We got 50 gallons. We need 92. Which, yeah. That's a little slow. It takes a little while. This pump's a little slow. So, I don't know. I need another line to be able to just hook it up and suck it with the big pump, but I don't have that. We got some serious upgrades we should be making to our chemical dike and sprayer loading area here, but someday we'll get there. It'd also be nice to have a working flow meter in the main line, but I don't have one of those either. That one there, it used to work kind of, but not great. So I had to shut the big pump off to let this pump for a little bit, and we'll get that. We're almost got enough on that, and then we got to do the stuff on the planter. I'm also going to run some water into my 300-gallon tank on the front so we can prime all the 2x2 lines and run some water through it first. We're going to be fairly heavy for load 1 here. That tank's going to be full. That one's got 1,300 gallons in it. It's a 1,600-gallon tank, but 1,500 is about as much as you want. And we're going to have, I don't know, about 50 to 100 gallons of water in that front tank there. So, yeah. It's going to be full. Sun is setting. It's 7:35. I didn't go to the field at 7:35 last night. Am I going to go tonight? I think so, and here's why. We already know the planter is working well. Everything's already adjusted. We will have to dig and do some depth stuff and just make sure, but it shouldn't take much to get it started. The biggest thing is getting the 2x2 fertilizer rolling, and fingers crossed, no issues with that. Shouldn't be that big a deal. So we've got that little 22-acre piece we're going to start in there. We'll see how it goes. If it's not going well, we'll quit after that. If it is going well, we'll try and do the backfield as well. Let's roll. We're going to go back down the lane where we got that grass area and unfold it and test our 2x2 system. Yeah, I don't think we're getting very far tonight, guys. I cannot get my fertilizer pump to start up. This one over here that we haven't used yet, it acts like it's seized up, and I don't understand that because, I mean, we used it last year. I winterized it. Everything worked when we put it away. I put RV antifreeze in it. It's not like I had fertilizer in it all winter or, you know, anything corrosive. It was RV antifreeze. So I'm trying to figure out how to tell. I'm going to take the pump, the motor, off of the pump and see if the motor is spinning. If that is spinning, then I got to figure out how to get the pump to spin. I don't know. I don't have the right wrenches. I need a 19 millimeter open end wrench. Can't get a socket on it. I shut the tractor off and walk up. I'm pretty sure it was spinning. The hydraulic just kicked off. I'll go kick it back on and look, but I'm pretty sure our motor is good. For sure, it's spinning. Okay. So, what does that mean? Is my pump seized up? I don't know. Well, I put that back together and turned it on, and it sure is feeling like our pump is seized up. How does that happen? I don't understand. I added some oil to this bowl up here. It was empty. It wasn't empty when I put it away. So something leaking internally. Where did it go? How do I fix it? What do I got to start taking apart here? I don't even know. I don't really understand exactly how this pump works, which makes it a little more difficult to diagnose. I mean, we can start just taking things apart, but that doesn't seem like a great idea without knowing what I'm doing. Crap. Well, bummer. That does kill any chances of planting today. We're done. I gotta figure out what to do about this. I'm gonna get some pictures and model numbers and stuff and see if I can Google or YouTube any answers, solutions, things that I need to do. I don't know. It's 8:30 at night. I can't really call the dealer, but I can call them first thing in the morning and maybe they can send somebody out here to help me. I really don't want to have to plumb a whole new hydraulic pump. But if that's what we gotta do, that's what we gotta do. I pulled this little extension to this coupling to the hydraulic motor off, and well, that's a bad sign. We've got a bunch of corrosion and rust inside there. I don't like that. I think she's seized up. I'm gonna attempt, I know it's seized up, I'm gonna attempt to just put a pipe wrench on there and see what happens. It's probably a bad idea. It's probably a really bad idea, but we're gonna see what happens. Yep, she's seized all right. I don't know if this one's gonna be fixable. We even got a pipe. It's not a real big one, but it ain't budging. Not even a little bit. Great. I wonder if we had an internal fertilizer leak that got fertilizer into some places that it's not supposed to be, like that bearing. And we flushed the internals out, but never were able to get the fertilizer out of there, and it corroded stuff. That's my best guess. So we might have to hunt down a pump in the morning. Question is, do I get this same kind that's on here and replace it identical? Or do I put something different on? Or do I just do whatever I can find the fastest? Because we need one now. Alright, well, not much I can do about that pump, especially not tonight. We're going to have to look for replacements probably in the morning. I can try and tear it apart, but I don't think that's going to get anywhere. First thing we're going to do is try and find a new pump. And if there's anywhere close, we're just gonna go and get it. So Phil called, he called Dad, but since I'm not doing anything else, he needs some seed to finish the field that he's in. There's a box on the tender, so I'm gonna take this down to him, help him get it in there, and then go home for the night, I guess. We did okay. We had a good day. The new lights on the 8R they're quite bright. Impressive. Let's wrap this up while you guys can see me and I'm standing in some light. So thanks again for watching today. Overall, it's a successful first day of planting. We didn't get any corn in the ground, but we are going to end up with 220 acres of beans in the ground between what I did and what Phil did. And we got the plot done, and that's a huge time sucking thing that's good to get out of the way. So I'm happy with that. We'll have to see what's going on with this fertilizer pump issue. The pump itself is discontinued. There's a couple places online that say they have them, but I'm not waiting 2 or 3 days for shipping. So we're going to look into some alternatives. I found a SurePoint model I think will work if they can get it, which may require some replumbing. Hopefully we'll be planting corn tomorrow, but we got to find a pump and we got to get it installed probably. We could try and tear that one apart a little bit, but I don't think it's going to work real well. So I don't know. Maybe if we can replace it, maybe we'll tear it apart later, see if we can fix it up and we can sell it or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure that one out when we get to it. But right now, time is of the essence and we have to get this fixed. So poor maintenance on my part, maybe. Yeah, I suppose. It's not something that's easily testable. I suppose I could have gotten the planter out in the last week and run water through stuff and, made sure everything was ready to go, and then I would have known ahead of time. But it's not like I've been sitting around with nothing to do, especially in the last week. We've been pretty busy. And so, and the weather was crappy before that. Yeah, I'll take the blame on it. It's fine. But I'm going to get it fixed and we're going to keep rolling. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like that video. If you are new, again, and I know the guys that have been around for a long time, you're probably like, we know this, but hoping to gain some followers and some new stuff here. I think you'll find that I may not be as entertaining as some of the other ag YouTubers, but I put a lot of content out. I'm very consistent. I show you everything there is to show you. I show you the good, the exciting, the going out and planting the first day stuff, to our fertilizer pump is broken before we ever even got to the field stuff. And as we get into the summer here and we're walking fields and doing a lot of stuff, I think the agronomic knowledge that I share, you'll find quite informative and a little more in-depth than what you get on a lot of other channels. So hope you enjoy. Thanks for following along, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. We get to fix the fertilizer pump.